Hello and welcome. Today we shall be looking at IELTS reading test. The IELTS reading test has 40 questions in total and each question has 1 mark. The test lasts for 60 minutes, including the time for you to transfer the questions into the answer sheet. The content of the text depends on whether you're taking academic IELTS or general training IELTS. The IELTS Academic Module contains 3 reading texts. These 3 reading texts range from descriptive and factual to discursive and analytical formats. They are taken from books, journals, magazines, and newspapers. These texts can be written in different styles, and at least one of the texts contains a detailed logical argument. They may also contain diagrams, graphs, or illustrations. And if any of these texts uses technical vocabulary, then a simple dictionary definition is usually provided. Therefore, at the end of the text, you need to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. You should be careful when writing your answers on the answer sheet because you will lose marks for any incorrect spelling and incorrect grammar. One of the skills we recommend in IELTS reading is that you need to read quickly and efficiently and also manage your time very well. The IELTS reading test is designed to assess a wide range of reading skills, for example, how well you read the general sense of passage, how you read the main ideas, how you read for details, how you understand inferences and implied meaning of words, how you recognize a writer's opinion, attitudes and purpose, and how do you follow the development of an argument. In IELTS reading test, expect to find a variety of task types and answer formats in both the test modules in academic and general training. Here are the examples of the main task types that you find in IELTS reading. You may find short answer questions, summary completion questions, table completion as well as various forms of multiple choice. You will also find any of the following like sentence completion, various kinds of matching for headers, labeling of flowcharts and other kinds of diagrams, identifying the writer's claims or views, and identifying information. So in this tutorial we shall look at all the 11 types of questions you expect to find in a reading test. So what are the types of questions you find in IELTS reading? The first type is the multiple choice questions. This type of question may be a question with 4 possible answers or first half of a sentence with 4 possible sentence endings. So you have to choose one correct answer that is labeled using letters A, B, C, or D. Sometimes you're given a longer list of possible answers and you have to choose more than one answer. In answering this type of questions, you should read the question carefully to check how many answers you need to choose. And as a skill that we recommend, you need to try to eliminate the options that are clearly not possible answers. And note that some words or phrases may be lifted from the passage and used in the choices. Sometimes this happens just to confuse you and do not fall for this trap. Elimination method will help you narrow down your options. And remember that answers to these questions in multiple choice come in order. And the questions are in the same order as the information from the text. The second type of question is identifying information. In this type of questions, you're given a number of statements and you are asked, for example, do the following statements agree with the information in the text? So in this case, you have to write either true, false, or not given in the boxes in your answer sheet. It is important for you to understand the difference between false and not given. False means that the statement contradicts the information in the text. And not given means that the statement neither agrees nor contradicts with the information in the text. You will be required to paraphrase the statements before trying to locate the answers in the passages. And also in this type of question, the answers to these types come in order. In identifying information questions, You must be careful not to use any information that you already know about the topic of the text when choosing your answers. You will probably find a text that talks about a very familiar topic that you may be knowing. So in this case, assume that you have never heard of this, or else you'll be tempted to use your own words. In this kind of questions, they'll try to trick you using adjectives and adverbs, and these words we call them qualifiers. That's what they use to gauge how well you can understand a statement. However, you need to be keen as sometimes synonyms may be used, and so you think that the statement is not given. As long as you've confirmed that the statement is not given and no synonyms have been used, then probably the correct answer is not given. Note that in these questions, answers flow in the same order in which the questions do. And this type of test assesses your ability to recognize specific information. The next type of questions in IELTS reading is identifying writers' views or claims. In this type of question, you're given a number of statements and you're asked, the following statements agree with the views of the writer, or do the following statement agree with the claims of the writer? You have to write either yes, no, or not given in the boxes in your answer sheet. So in this type of question, you need to understand the difference between no and not given. No means that the statement contradicts with the writer's view or the claims. And when we say not given, we mean that the statement neither agrees nor contradicts with the writer's view or claim. And with this kind of questions, they'll trick you by using adjective and adverbs or qualifiers, and normally this is a question that tests your ability to recognize opinions or ideas. The next type of question is matching information. In this type of question, you are expected to find a specific information in the paragraph or sections of a text. The paragraphs are identified by letters, and remember that not every paragraph may be used. And when the paragraph may be used more than once, the instructions will tell you, for example, you may use any letter more than once. This type of question will assess your ability to scan a text in order to find specific information. The next type of question is matching headings. In this one, there's a list of headings that are identified by Roman numerals. They summarize the main idea of the paragraph, and you must match these headings to the correct paragraph or the section. The paragraphs in this case are identified by letters A, B, C, etc. And you need to write the correct Roman numerals in the boxes in your answer sheet. There will be always more headings than paragraphs or sections, so some headings will not be used. And remember that there is no heading that will be used more than once. For you to get these questions right, you read the first two sentences and the last two sentences, then go to your choices and try to find the good fit for your paragraph. Once you find the correct answer, strike it through, then move to the second paragraph. If you come across the hard ones, skip the hard ones and then come back after the last paragraph when you still have fewer choices to choose from. And remember that you will be looking for the main idea of the paragraph and not extra information. In this type of question test, you are being assessed for your ability to identify general topic of a paragraph and to recognize the difference between the main ideas and supporting ideas. Another question type is matching features. In this type of question, you have to match a set of statements or pieces of information to a list of options. These options are a group of features from the text, and letters are used to identify them. And when it's possible to use an option more than once, the instructions will say that. This type of question assesses your ability to recognize relationships and connection between facts in the text and your ability to recognize opinions. So you need to be able to skim and scan the text to find the information quickly so that you can read that part more carefully for more detail. The matching sentence ending question. You're given the first half of a sentence based on information in the text, and you have to choose the best way to complete the sentence by choosing from the list of possible endings. The endings are identified by letters A, B, C, D, or etc. In this type of question, you'll be looking for the main idea of the sentence. So you start by reading the sentences as you pick the keywords. Then use these keywords to locate where the answers might be, and once you have a location, then that's when you can read that area. The sentence structure must be grammatically correct for you to get the 1 mark. There will be more sentences endings than beginnings, so you will not use all of them. The sentence beginnings are in the same order as the information in the text, and this type of question tests your ability to understand the main ideas in the text. Then we move to the next type of question, which is sentence completion. In this type of question, you have to fill in a gap in each sentence by choosing words from the text. You should read the instructions very carefully because you have a word limit. Use keywords in your questions to locate where the answers might be, and then read carefully at this point with the aim of picking the answer from the location. Answers to these questions come in order, and the question or answers are in the same order as the information in the text. So this type of question tests your ability to find a detail or specific information in a text. The next type of question is summary, note, table, or flowchart completion question. You're given a summary of a part of a text and you have to complete it using words that are taken from the text. And you need to know that the summary is not normally the whole text. The summary may be in a form of a continuous text, a note, a table, or a flowchart. And the answers in this case may not come in the same order as is in the text. However, they usually come from one part of the text rather than the whole text. There are usually 2 variations of this task type, and in the first variation, you need to select words from the text that fit into it. In table completion, you'll be scanning for specific information, and the information in the table may appear in a different order from the matching information in the reading text. So you need to be on the lookout and look at the layout of the table and work out the best way to read it, particularly noting any headings that will give you clues to the content. You need to read through the sentences with gaps to get a general idea of what information you'll be looking for, and fill the gaps with the exact words from the text. So you should not use synonyms in this case. You should read the instructions very carefully because you also have a word limit in this case. And in the second variation, you have to choose from the list of words to fill the gaps. The words are identified by letters, and you are supposed to key in or write down the letters in your answer sheet. You are expected to understand the ideas and the supporting points, then select the appropriate words. So in this type of question test, you are assessed on your ability to understand details and all the main ideas of the part of a text. When completing this type of questions, you will need to think about the type of words that will fit into the gap. For example, whether the word will be a noun or an adjective or a verb. The next type of question is diagram label completion. So here, you have to complete the labels on a diagram, and the diagram is based on a description that is given in a text. The diagram may be a type of machine, a part of building, or other information in the text that can be shown through pictures. So you will be looking for descriptive information from the text. To answer this one, you need to study the diagram as you get clues from the headings, the figures, and the labels that are already added. Then after that, you use keywords to locate where the answers might be. Once you find a possible location, read in the detail with the aim of picking an answer from that location. And you need to know that the answers to these questions may not really come in order. They'll usually come from one section rather than the entire text, and you should read the instructions very carefully to notice the word limit that has been provided. Another type of question type is the short answer question, and in this case, you have to answer questions about factual details in a text. The answers must be taken from the words in the text, and a word limit is given. For example, you may be required to write no more than 2 words and or a number. So, in this case, numbers can be written using figures or words. The answers come in the same order as the information in the text, and this type of question tests your ability to find and understand specific information in the text.